이제 이거를 대화를 하면 되고 보자. 절도를 숨기기 위한 미장이었을 수도 있다. 그래 일단 어떤 한 그림을 훔쳐간 거지. 그걸 이제 숨기기 위해서 킹부러 이제 화제를 이렇게 해버린. 나가는 부분이 어디죠? 얘 어딨지?
The pieces are not what I expected.
What do you think my collection is about?
죽음?
It's a reflection on mortality. Nothing lasts forever, no beauty sustains itself, and everything succumbs to darkness. Am I right?
I don't know.
Well, that's absurd. Of course you know. It's your gallery.
There is no one answer, no singular truth, but many filtered through
스쿼트를
the
열심히
subjective
하면
mind. That forgetting
좋은 엉덩이를
embellishing
가질 수
lying
있습니다.
machine. Besides, what's wrong with a lie if it makes life more interesting?
What's wrong with a lie? It corrupts the ability of others to behave freely and rationally.
Men never act freely and rationally anyway. It matters not what is or isn't in the end. The only important thing is how you feel. And I simply want to feel and consume as much as I can. Don't you?
Feelings are simply one's animal ancestry trying to wrest back control of the brain. I try to avoid the distraction.
You try not to feel, even in a place like this? None of it moves you?
To be frank, I struggle to maintain even a whit of interest in art.
But Mr. Holmes, it is joy incarnate, mankind's greatest achievement.
Mankind's highest achievement above all others is objective and rational thought.
I see then why you dislike art, for it
우리
means
지금
whatever
무슨
you wanted
대화하고
to.
있는 거야?
Or perhaps, Mr. Vogel, I was lying.
그래서 지아는요? 흥미로운 사건이었다.
Mr. Vogel, my investigation has revealed that the intrusion was not merely vandalism but theft. The limping visitor left your place with a canvas.
That's very impressive.
The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the latch and dislodged the shovel while doing so. That's the noise you heard yesterday. When you went downstairs to investigate, he hid in the coffin.
It seems I should have checked the space more thoroughly.
그다음에 절도?
This thief was familiar with the gallery and
나도
was sporting the limp.
살짝
Do any
집중력
of your
흐트러질
clients or
뻔.
artists come to mind?
My, your attention to detail is remarkable, Mr. Holmes. I should introduce you to Bosch's works. Alas, I'm afraid I cannot suggest a culprit.
The fire was a clever attempt to hide a stolen painting, even if it didn't fool me. I found the remnants of an empty frame in the pile of ashes. The canvas had been removed. Do you know which paintings in the Wild Room may have interested a thief? Were any particularly expensive?
Those pieces belong to a well-known artist named Boniface Mercurio. They're controversial, but not of a notably high value.
There's something more, is there not? I can see it in your eyes.
이 사람 아니야?
Indeed.
자작극?
There is another intriguing angle. I recently received an anonymous offer for one of Mercurio's works. The sum was more than fair, and indeed could have saved Mercurio from his artistic poverty. But he declined it.
Was it a performative whim?
되게
Some artists lionize
아무렇지 않아
pain and
보이는데?
hardship as if their work would be worse after a meal and a hot bath.
I cannot tell. But not only did he refuse the deal, he insisted on displaying the painting in the public space. I was hoping to change his mind, but artists are a special breed of stubborn.
그림의
What was
모습.
depicted in the piece?
A bound woman wrapped in robes being penetrated by a red devil that stared at us, the viewer. The beast had numerous tails growing from his back, and a large crowd gathered around the
되게
pair,
무서운
silently
그림이구만.
watching the orgiastic scene.
Okay, well, given the nature of the other works on display, it's hard to see why that one stood out. What could possibly be its value?
The evaluation of art is very subjective, Mr. Holmes. After all, art is everything. A poem, a bruise, the beads of sweat on your beloved skin. Even a masterfully solved crime.
I'm not sure I see the connection.
Regardless, the painting was one of a series called The Sabbath Night in Cordona. The works depict sex, violence, and other controversial acts that life, for better or worse, contains.
Ah, I see.
I'm not sure that you do. but that can wait for another time.
So where can I find Boniface Mercurio?
I know
일단
he
우리가
lives somewhere in
찾아가야
Old
되나
City,
보다.
but couldn't be more specific. He's a prominent figure, so finding him shouldn't be a problem.
Well, I believe I have enough to begin. Thank you, Mr. Vogel. Your gallery certainly has unexpected depths.
I'm delighted to have been able to please a friend. In return, I expect you to come back with good news. Or at least with a good story.
주소. 이 주소를 이제 찾아야 되는데 그러면은 뭐 화가니까 기사가 뭐 있을라나? 어허. 일단 신문 한번 가볼까요? 신문사? 뭐 화가에 대해 신문이 뭔가 기사가 있었을 수도. 또 엄마가 나 엄마가 아는 사람인가? 이었나? 모르겠네. 그때 무덤에서도 한번 봤으니까 뭐 이 정도면 친거지. 3번 마주쳤으면 뭐.
I have something for you.
줄게
Mr.
있다는데?
Holmes, I see what you're up to.
비밀의 이방인,
Mysterious stranger
약혼한 여성을
pursues
마음에
betrothed
품다.
woman.
뭔 소리야?
But please, let us keep things professional. I
개소리야
have
이
in my possession an
기레기는.
envelope containing details of a special assignment for you. Tell me, are you interested?
내가 뭐
I believe I am.
도와주는
To be
건가?
very clear, Miss Sertle, my interest extends to the message and not the messenger.
So he claims he's not a gal sneaker,
아이고.
seducing women
바람둥이가
everywhere he
아니라는
goes.
주장이신데
Perhaps
실체는
the
더
truth
음흉한
is
거
even
아닐까요?
more scandalous?
뭐?
Please spare me the speculation. Return to the
미친 거
matter at
아니야?
hand.
A gang of smugglers, the Eels, have Codona in their clammy grip. The British Empire
여자
can
만난
abide it
적
no
없어요.
longer. Mycroft insists they be disbanded. But this organization only falls with the capture of their odious leader, Friedrich Panzer. And note well, I did say capture, not kill. Inside your envelope is a map marked with the Eels' warehouses.
뱀장어파를
But alas, we
체포해줘야
do
되나
not know
봅니다.
in which Friedrich Panzer resides.
So
뱀장어파.
even Mycroft has his limits.
Indeed. You must be sure to identify the correct warehouse before entering, because once one is compromised, the other's occupants will scatter. Here are all the files, and feel free to use the archive too. Again, do not enter the wrong location, nor see any harm done to Friedrich Panzer.
Miss Sertle, if you're quite done with the redundant instructions,
난
I shall
죽어
get to work.
있다길래 뭐
Well, that's
선물이 있는 줄
perfect.
알았네.
Tortured hero lashes out after rejected romance. Tomorrow's edition will be a sensation.
정신 나간 것 같아요, 기자는. 자, 일단 우리가 화가를 한번 유명인사로다가 뭐 인터뷰를 하진 않았을까? 올드시티? 있네요. 딱 있네. 테페춤 보니파스 메르크리오. 집으로 초청했다. 그는 올드시티 스칼렛가와 올리브가 사이에 헤르메스 대로에서 만날 수 있다. 오케이, 찾았어요. 쉽네. 자, 어디라고? 올드시티에 스칼렛가와 올리브가 스칼렛 올리브가 헤르메스 대로 여기네요. 되게 술 취한 상태에서 찍은 사진 같은데? 저게 지금 옷이 입고 있는 거야? 벗고 있는 거야? 뭐야? 저게 브이넥인가 뭔가 뭐라 해야 될까? 너무 내려와 있는 브이넥. 나 알바야. 잠깐만 여기 근처인데? 여기다. 오늘 파스 메르쿠리오 거주지 인데 여긴가요? 저긴가 보다.
Excuse me, young man. Where do you think you're going?
Greetings, ma'am. I'm looking for the...
I don't care who you're looking for. You shall not pass. No visitors allowed.
I wish to buy a painting from Mr. Boniface Mercurio. Is he at home?
Dearie, tell me, because old age has made me blind. Did someone write Information Bureau on my forehead?
할머니 왜 이래?
Because I'm not here to answer your questions. Entry is for residents only. If you aren't a resident, please leave, or I shall report you to the police.
이거 아니면은 변장하고 와야 되네? 뭐로 변장해야 될까요? 거주자만 들어갈 수 있다는데? 자, 근처에 뭐 옷가게 있나? 한번 뭐 가볼까? 뭐 있는가? 만약에 아 그래? 그런가? 저 사람이 입고 있는 느낌? 그럼 이거 아니야? 아니면 경찰? 경찰복으로 가면은 좀 그런가? 가보자. 혹시 몰라 뭐 있을지도? 옷 삽니다. 옷 삽니다.
Oriental rugs at a good price. Merhaba. It's a good day for a purchase.
에? 이건 아니네. 오, 뭐야? 이거 집에 갖다 놓을 수 있나? 방금 샹들리에 멋있었어. 오, 총!
May your purchase
Whoa.
bring you joy.
Don't pass by.
아, 옷
Welcome.
사야 되는데.
Let's pick some.
돈 아껴 놓을걸. 아! 여기 있다! 이거 아까 그 예술가랑 똑같은 옷 아니야? 이거 사면 되겠구만. 이거 입어. 이거 아니면, 이게 있네. 하얀 색깔 버전. 이게 아까 걔가 입고 있던 거네. 일단 이게 이건가 보다.
A good choice indeed.
똑같죠? 오케이, 굿. 이렇게 하고, 이거 뭐 수염도 달고 싶은데?
Let's pick some.
보자. 머리도 있네. 수염. 이건 대여해. 그리고 뭐 얼굴은 뭐 예술가. 이것도 대여해. 모자는 없었죠?
Be careful with what you've taken.
됐어. 이거 대여해가지고. 야, 이거 그 자체인데? 필요 없어. 돈 뭐 이제 벌면 되고요. 우리는 그냥 이제 가면 돼요. 괜찮은데 좀. 그러면은 의심하지 않고 집 이제 사는 사람인 줄 알겠지?
Boniface, sweetie. Is that you? Ah. Old age does
속았어.
terrible things to one's sight. I didn't recognize you at first.
How are you, Mum? I'm ashamed to admit that I've lost my key. Do you have a spare?
For heaven's sake. How many times will you lose that key of yours? Of course I have a spare. You artists all live in your own little world.
Please accept my thanks.
대충
I would
내는
rather
거지 뭐.
accept your rent.
겉모습이 일단
You promised to
똑같은데
pay me several weeks
목소리쯤이야.
ago and I'm still waiting.
I will pay you, I promise, very soon.
You'd better do, my dear. Or else I'll just change the lock. And I won't fall for those cow eyes.
오케이, 열쇠를 얻었습니다. 아주 그냥 완벽히 속였어. 여기 우리 집이야? 이게 뭔? 죽어 있네?
Judging
부드러운
by
상체
post-mortem
근육.
rigidity, the body lay here for 1 or 2 days.
하루에서 이틀 정도. 아까 손등에 멍이 있다고 떴고. 보자. 뭐
The
때문에
wound is
죽은 거야?
precise. It was inflicted by a razor or a knife.
아, 목을 그었나 보다. 면도날 같은 걸로.
Soaked in blood. It seems as if the puddle of blood was here before the rags.
천을 그 피 웅덩이 위에 올려놨다. 다리는 어쩌다 꺾인겨? 저 하나 더 있는데. 칼. 이 칼로 목을 그었군요.
A normal kitchen knife. Could be the murder weapon.
아무리 부인에게 싫어도 그렇지. 아니, 부인에게 싫었으면 목을 긋는 것보다는 명치를 때렸지 않았을까? 훤히 보이는 명치를.
The chest has been searched.
여기를 박스를 뒤졌고 술을 많이
Aunt May whiskey,
드셨네.
brandy bucks. Quite a collection he had here.
수집한 거구나. 칼이 사라졌나? 파란색 직물 섬유. 저기에? 카메라?
I wonder where he got that fancy camera. Despite the overall tendency towards mess, you cannot sit with the drawer pulled out like this. Someone left it after searching.
뭐가 여기 서랍도 뒤졌고. 뭐야 왜 제대로 안 돼?
It appears the wine was truly awful.
와인병도 깼고.
The blood has dried.
I've heard of this style of painting. It is
뭐야?
called expressionism.
깜짝이야.
The photograph was not pulled out in time. Such a waste of material.
이건 또 뭐야?
Look at this, John. Isn't it our stolen demon?
이거 말고는 또 없나? 이게 그 그림이네.
Red skin, tails on the
없어졌다는
back.
그림.
Reminds me of Werder's description of the stolen painting.
상상이 열렸고요. 일단은 보자. 시체가 아주 끔찍하군요. 사진 한 방도 찍어놓자. 여러 방면에서 찍어줘야지. 바나나랑도 같이. 이제 상상해볼까? 일단 이 그림을 여기를 죽이고 나서 뒤졌지 않았을까? 일단 여기 이렇게 앉아 있었다. 저 그림을 보면서. 이제 그럼 누가 언제 쳐들어온 거지? 이게 팔꿈치가 저기가 맞았다는 건가? 파란색 뭐 있었으니까 이거는 확실히 저거 누군가가 저기다 맞은 거네. 자살? 아니면 이렇게 싸웠나? 또 뭐 있지? 그러니까 자살은 아니겠지. 자살이면 이렇게 다리가 꺾일 수가 없겠죠? 이거는 교체 안 되고. 여기. 오, 잔인해. 소리가 너무 잔인해. 이 침입자가 오기 전에 이미 죽어 있는 걸 수도 있나?
You're not even trying,
틀렸다.
Sherry. Concentrate.
그럼 여기서 이렇게 시작되는 건가? 여기 있다가 누군가 들어와서 저기 뒤져가지고 뛰쳐나와서 너 누가 했을게? 이러고 싸우다가 밀쳐져가지고 하고 죽었다.
Mercurio was developing photographs when the intruder snuck in. Mercurio heard him coming. While the
맞아.
thief was searching the chest, the painter ran towards him with a bottle in his hand. He smashed it across the thief's head. The intruder had no choice but to defend himself, and the weapon of opportunity happened to be a kitchen knife. Mercurio stepped aside to grab the painting, but the wine-blinded thief attacked Mercurio's throat. When the thief came to his senses, he saw Mercurio bleeding on the floor. He grabbed the rags and tried to bandage him, but it was too late.
그래서
Why did
천도
Mercurio
올라와
attempt to snatch the
있었고.
painting in the middle of a fight? To strike the intruder? Not with his painting, it was too important to him.
그렇군. 왜 싸우는 도중에 그림을 잡으려고 했을까?
It's time for some chemical magic, John.
화학 시간. 개극혐. 안 돼. 제일 어려운 시간이다. 자, 뭐가 더 생겼는데, 여기 마이너스 하는 거, 마이너스로 만들어버리기. 보자. 일단은 3을 마이너스로 만들어주고, 이렇게 마이너스가 되는 거구만. 그러면은, 뭔가 잘못됐군요. 기다려봐. 이걸로 해야 되네. 그러면은 이거 한 다음에 천천히 합시다. 천천히 선생님. 아... 어... 아! 이제 여기다가 플러스를 넣으면 되지 않나. 그러면 이렇게 해서 이렇게 해가지고 짠! 후! 아, 화약 약품을 통해 피를 지울 수 있었다. 메르쿠리오 방을 그린 정물하다. 오, 그림 복구했습니다. 이건 뭐야? 저 표시는 뭐지? 아이템의 용도 알아내기?
That doesn't look like the painting we need, Sherry.
As expected, but that doesn't mean it won't tell us anything. Let's put it on the easel where it belongs.
아, 비교를 해보면 여기에는 뭔가 없네? 저기에는 뭔가 없다, 그죠? 이 뭔가가 뭘까? 이젤에 올려두어야 한다. 여기다가.
I guess this is his most ordinary painting. Spot the two differences, John?
나무? 나무는 뭐야? 일단 이거.
If the intruder didn't take it, the skull should be somewhere here. Nothing behind it.
이게 다 아니야? 뭐 더 있나? 님들 틀린 글을 찾기 해보셈. 난 저 머리 말고는 모르겠어. 나무가 맞는가?
Nothing behind it.
없던 나무가 생겼다? 완전히 똑같이 닮지는 않은 것 같다. 근데 이거 집중 표시가 있는데?
If the intruder didn't take it, the skull should be somewhere here.
저 두개골을 찾는 게 근데 없는 것 같은데? 가져가지 않았을까?
Nothing behind it. If the intruder didn't take it, the skull should be somewhere here.
모르겠다. 두개골 찾은 사람. 여기 있다. 에?
Monster was actually a man. Poor girl. John, you ought to be thrilled. We are now hunting the devil himself.
What were you saying, Sherry? I was too busy sketching the scene, you know, crimes and such like, daily routine. Did you find something?
A photograph. It depicts a man in a red suit with tails sprouting from his back and multiple people in masks watching the scene. It all adds up. But the act of love, it wasn't given willingly, John. It was a
Wow.
violation. And the girl, She was with child.
Give that to me now. Did you recognize someone?
No. Although the victim is not from Cordona, she is African. Look at the ritual scars on her face.
Get that image out of your brain. You have to continue the investigation.
I must speak to the landlady. Perhaps she saw or heard something.
Sherry, you cannot tell her the truth about Mercurio. It will hurt her.
John, that's illogical. Sooner or later, she will come here and discover a corpse, and I still need to talk to her.
Just avoid mentioning corpse. Alright? Stick to the character. Tell her to call the police.
I'll take that into account.
나인
And
척.
wait
아니.
here.
저
I've
누워있는
redrawn the
애인
people in the
척하고
photograph.
경찰
Now you can proceed with
신고하라면.
your investigation without those horrific details.
계속 연기를 하는 게 좋겠다고 한다. 그래, 그러자. 이상하니까 뭔가. 보자. 아, 성폭행? 사진? 주문을 다시 그리는 방탕자. 아까 그 사진에 있는 사람들을 다시 그렸다는 거구나. 이거는 누군가한테 저기 물어보거나 해야 되는 거 같지? 주위 사람들한테 묻기. 자, 변장 풀지 말고 그대로.
What's wrong, dear? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Can you tell me if anyone else has recently entered the flat?
Oh, you're talking
다리
about
저는
that
남자.
limping man.
어머.
I'm sorry I let him in. I was scared. And I thought maybe he would motivate you to find money so that you would pay your rent. No offense, dear.
Can you describe him?
Oh, so you weren't at home. I was so certain you didn't leave your flat that day. He was of average height, had a limp and a tattoo on his neck, and he was smoking Malpal cigarettes. My husband used to smoke those.
이놈이네.
They have a horrible smell I can recognize from a mile away.
경찰을 부르세요.
Can I ask a favor?
Of course, dearie.
Please call the police and ask them to enter the flat. And don't look inside until they come up.
What? What trouble have you stepped in this time?
It really doesn't matter. Thank you, Mum.
도전과제 완벽한 신사. 이 여자에 대해서 물어볼 수
You're
있나?
acting so strange today.
그럼 안
dear.
되네.
I hope someday
뭐 나가서 물어봐야 되나 그러면은?
you'll let me inside that head of yours.
Phew, Sherry, that was close. But you did everything correctly.
이제 그 옷 벗어. 알았어. 이 망할 수염도 빼고 분장도 분장 차이가 많이 나네?
Now,
오케이.
take off your outfit. I can't let you walk around in a dead man's clothes.
뭐야, 자동으로 해주는 거였잖아. 괜히 했고요.
Excuse me, just one question.
That's not something I know, sir.
이
Someone
여자에
else might know.
대해서 물어봐야 할 것 같은데 어디서 물어보나? 지도는 뭐 안 나오고. 그치. 여긴가? 여기로 가서 그 박사님한테 물어보자고.
Can I ask you a
여기
question?
The streets
비슷한데?
won't share their secrets with those who hide in fancy houses.
May I ask you something?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
You obviously haven't thought this all through. Or you just
또 바로 잔소리. 기다려봐. 여기 맞구나.
wing these
좀
people
내가.
on purpose.
설마 아프리카 옷을 팔던데 그거 입어야 되나? 마사카.
I think I'll leave the exhibition in its current state for a while. I'll call it
Okay.
The Art of Vandalism.
대화가 안 됩니다. 큰일 났어요. 알았어. 그러면은 옷을 갈아입고 물어보자고.
Don't pass by. Let's pick something that's...
아프리카 평상복. 이걸 입는다면
Be careful with what you
대답해주지
take.
않을까? 대여를 하면 되기 때문에 변장도 좀 이렇게 화장해야 되지 않을까? 뭐 아프리카인으로 화장하기 이런 거는 없나 보네.
Don't leave. Take one more look.
자, 물어보자고.
Can I ask you a question?
I like you, friend, but I can't help you.
문제는 이 여자를 어디 가서 물어보나. 다시 집 근처로 가서 집 근처에서 물어본다면 이 여자 본 적 있어요 이렇게 하는 거 없나? 어디야? 저른말이.
Excuse me, just one question. I wish I could help you.
집이 어디야? 여기서 좀 위로 올라가면 되겠구만.
Excuse me, just one question.
여기서 이렇게 물어보면
Of
될
course.
듯.
The streets have the information you seek.
됐어! 에메부족의 것으로 보인다. 에메족 사람들을 찾을 수 있는 곳은 스칼라디오와 슬버튼 사이 빅토리아 다리 아래에 있는 난민 캠프뿐이다. 역시 아프리카인의 복장을 입으니까 바로 답이 나오는구만. 보자. 스칼라디오 와 실버튼, 여기 실버튼 사이에 빅토리아 다리. 뭐야, 이 중에 빅토리아 다리가 어디야? 여기야? 오케이. 여기로 가면 된답니다. 근데 이거 사진 보여줬는데 어떻게 잘 아는 사람이지? 와우, 빠른 지점 굿. 여긴가? 여기가 아닌데, 여기 다리 밑에라고 했는데? 난민 캠프? 저기다. 밑에 뭐 있네요.
Beasts!
왜? 뭐야? 어머. 난민 캠프?
Murderers!
왜? 무슨 일이야?
Completely livid. First they come to our land, then they murder our people.
Drop them all into the sea!
Sir, this place is off limits to the public. Please state your business or leave, or I shall request that the police escort you out.
전 사립 탐정입니다.
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm a
아,
private
옷
investigator.
갈아입고
I'm
올걸.
looking for a witness for a case.
A private investigator? Really? Even so, you're not authorized. I can't let you in.
And you are?
I'm Ronald Harlow, here to handle the refugee situation on behalf of City Hall. I'm the acting supervisor here, so I have full authority here to ask you to leave, or I shall order the police to detain you for trying to pass the blockade. Please, step back.
관찰한다. 우리 한번 사업 볼까? 네, 너무 낯이 너무 안 좋은데? 빛이 잘 안 드는 실내에서 일한다. 이거는 똥을 못 산 얼굴이야. 이상해. 얼굴 빛이 너무 안 좋아. 과하게 입음. 확실히 과하게 입었군. 긴장한 상태. 어허. 뭐가 있나? 어디있지? 어디있지? 단추가 떨어졌어. 신발이었군. 깨끗한 신발. 멍한 형식주의자. 이런 책임을 맡은 것이 기쁘진 않지만 절차에 따라 집행하고 주어진 임무를 수행한다. 경험이 부족하다. 굉장히 스트레스 받고 있다는 걸 말해준다. 아니면 피곤한 사무직, 우울한 젊은 공무원이다. 그는 너무 지쳤고 무관심하다. 바깥 활동을 좋아하지 않는다는 것을 알 수 있다. 뭘까? 이걸로 하겠습니다.
What about the murder that this crowd keeps shouting about?
It's mere assumption. I assure you that the situation is under the police's control.
I know you want to deal with this in the right way. You are obviously a professional and a responsible person, but you clearly have never handled a situation like this before.
I am handling it, Mr. Holmes. Don't question my capability here.
And tell me how you do it. You can't even calm this gathered crowd, and as for the police, they're not quite managing it either, are they?
그럼
You consider
밀어붙이는 거
yourself
봐.
a problem solver, but until today, you've been solving problems sitting at your desk in a dark corner of a city hall room. Here, you need a more practical approach.
What are you driving at, Mr. Holmes?
제가
I can
도와드리겠습니다.
help you to handle the situation if you're truly interested in solving things quickly and quietly.
And how exactly would you manage that?
Simply tell the police that I'm with City Hall and I'm permitted to investigate the scene. I'll work out the rest, but in return I need your help finding my witness. She's a young refugee. She's with child or was with child recently.
Look, there is indeed a dead body inside the camp. So even if the girl you are looking for is there, all the refugees are now being detained and interrogated by the police. They won't allow you to speak with her. And I can't do anything about that until the situation settles down.
시끄러워.
So it's
조용히
in our
해.
mutual interest to settle it.
Oh. I suppose that things are bad enough that I ought not shy away from help. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell the police to allow you to come inside. Just tell me when you're ready.
보자. 어우 시끄러.
I'm ready to take a look at the scene.
All right. Go inside the camp and find Inspector Tewkesbury. He's the officer investigating the
촉사발의
scene.
경위를 찾으세요.
Tell him I sent you. Say you're an independent expert from
옷
City
갈아입고
Hall.
간다고 할
He'll
거
fill in the
그랬나?
details for you.
I'll find my way with words. Thank you, Mr.
괜히
Harlow.
또 개무시 당하는 거 아니야? 자, 옷을 좀 원래대로 멋쟁이로 다시 갈아입고.
So they keep these refugees under a bridge like proverbial trolls. No wonder the people outside are so disturbed.
이 사람인 것 같군요.
Who the hell are you? How did you get in here?
Mr. Ronald Harlow let me in, sir. I'm Sherlock Holmes, a surveyor of refugee affairs with City Hall. You're Inspector Tewkesbury, I presume?
A surveyor? What does that even mean?
In short, I've been sent to conduct an extensive report on the incident for the Colonial Office and to assess all the damage inflicted on state property.
Got it. Another paperworm sent to count money and get food for archive mold. Go on, look around, but don't make yourself too at home. As if I didn't have enough problems before you appeared.
Could you first tell me what happened here?
되게
What
비꼬는 것도
People from the
잘해.
bridge above the camp heard a woman screaming and saw a mass of refugees attacking a
그렇죠.
man.
탐정은 역시
Clearly not a
연기와
refugee.
사기.
When the camp guards came by, the man was floating in the sewage canal with a knife in his chest. Bam. A murder.
가슴에 칼이
Big
박혀
news for
있었대.
Cordona.
I'm sure. Thank you, Inspector.
정체는
Did you learn anything about
누가
the dead man?
죽었죠?
The fellow looks like a thug. I've had dozens like him fished out of the sea over the past 20 years. Ever since these refugees arrived, there have been people on Cordona with bad blood in them. My best bet is that this thug had something against them too.
And no clue as to his identity.
He had some items on his body, but nothing to
누군지는 알
indicate
수
who he was
없고.
or where he was from.
I think I should catalogue his possessions in my records.
Go on. They're on the table near the body.
Do you
용의자는
have any suspects yet?
You're joking, right? I've got a whole camp full of suspects.
모든
And if
사람이
you
다
ask me, this
용의자다.
bloke had it coming. Better bury him and forget about the whole thing. And now there's a crowd gathered at the camp, and my superiors say we must thoroughly interrogate the refugees, at least those who can understand any English.
Do you believe that your superiors wish to get rid of the refugees?
I think that both our superiors would rather keep the story quiet. Since that's an unaffordable luxury now, they're looking how to protect their public image. That's why I have to waste my time waiting for my people to turn every stone and befriend every refugee.
다른
And
피해자
none of the
있습니까?
refugees were harmed?
One fellow was cut. He's lying over there near their kitchen. He's in a bad way.
You mentioned a woman screaming who attracted the bypassers on the bridge. Was she harmed?
No, she's all right, but perhaps the whole debacle started because of her. She started wailing and the refugees stood up for the girl.
And where is this young woman now?
Back there in the shacks, same as the rest of the refugees. She's been questioned by my men, but she's just some refugee girl. Can't understand much English.
그래요. 한번 볼까?
Here we go again. Number of hours on Cordona before stumbling upon another dead body.
1시간도 안 돼서 또 다른
Zero.
시체. 말팔 담배.
Soaked with salt water. £1,000. A fair sum, especially considering British currency isn't very common in Cordona. A simple leather sheath.
단순한 가죽 칼들. 그렇군. 말팔 담배가 되게 뭐 잘 아무나 잘 피는 담배인가? 여기가 8번, 2번? 잠깐만. 여기 1번 어디야? 뭐 일단 하나씩 보자. 신발을 안 신고 있군요.
A man's footprint.
남자 발자국. 여긴 신발 신고 있는 발자국인 것 같은데. 뭐야, 조사해. 조사해. 내 위쳐 센스 제대로 작동해. 오케이.
A heavy boot with a worn-out sole.
경찰
Police
부츠.
boots. Always happy to trample evidence.
아니 내가 좋아하는 게 아니라 여기 애들이 다 그 담배만 피우는 것 같아가지고.
A fresh crack, as if the crate was hit
최근에
recently.
충격을 받은 것 같군. 뭐게 급히 도망가다가 이렇게 해서 이렇게 됐다.
Someone bled profusely here.
그렇군. 되게 복잡하구만.
A furrow in the ground.
모래 위 작은 고랑. 약간의
A blood trail
출혈.
leading to or from the canal.
왜 자꾸 나보고 담배 피래? 담배 권장하는 시청자.
Clearly a left handprint here.
왼쪽 손자국이 있고. 이렇게 도망가서 여기다 퐁당 빠졌다는 건가? 아, 저게 그 남자 시체구만. 석탄
Coal dust
먼지.
under the nails. I don't see much coal around here.
손톱 밑에 석탄? 이 사람이 뭐 발을 전다든지 뭐 그런 거 있나?
An interesting tattoo. Does it mean something?
문신이 되게 신기하고요. 칼.
A steel dirk. Sharp. A common accessory among sailors and soldiers. I'd say the blade penetrated upward, however the wound is too messy to be certain. Heavy boots, with one sole far more
이
worn than the other.
사람 다리를
This
절었대요.
man was limping John.
말팔 담배도 피고 석탄
Violent
가루도
death.
묻어있는 다리
This
저는
man,
남자.
limping. Coal dust. I think we're onto something here, John. Help me, please.
A solid question, sir, but I don't
이거
have the answer.
말고 또 뭐 증거물 보는 거 없나? 1번 어디 있어? 아 여기 있다. 여기 더 있네. 5번.
Oh, carnelian agate beads, a traditional African adornment.
6번.
The blood sprayed off the blade after the strike.
칼에 피가 뿌려졌어.
It might have been used as an improvised weapon.
야, 이걸로 찔러도 죽겠는데?
No hint of blood or impact.
근데 쓰진 않았다.
Someone was dragged against their will.
누군가 끌려갔다.
The refugees have been detained and will not leave until all the circumstances are clarified.
그렇군요. 그럼 이렇게 해서 끌려가서 여기서 이렇게 싸우고 낭탕하다가 얘는 뭐야? 아 얘가 그 다친 남자구나.
The cut is deep, potentially serious if not treated immediately. He is in shock, feverish and dehydrated.
Sherry, you know first aid. Surely you have a duty to help this man. You can't leave him to certain death.
You know what? I'd like to understand.
What?
How did our dead man end up inside the camp in the first place?
애초에 여기 어떻게 와씨 왜 이렇게 많아. 일단 존 허허 상처를 닦을 것, 소독할 것, 붕대로 쓸 것 이것들도 구해주고요. 되게 좀 깊게 뭔가 난민 캠프와 이어져 있는 어떤 방법으로 들어왔을까? 입구는 저기잖아. 어떻게 여기서 누구랑 대화를 담배? 뭐야 담배 꽁초 개 많아.
A single Malpal butt. Roadman cigarettes. A brand highly regarded by law enforcement officers.
여기서
So there
같이
wasn't any
담배 한 대
sophisticated
피고
infiltration.
들어가게
The
해주십시오
good old
해가지고
police
들어간
just let
건가?
the man into the cab. Now we have everything we need to get the full picture of what happened at the camp.
상상 시간. 상상 시간 하기 전에 좋은 이거도 해주자. 1000. 아마도 깨끗함.
Just washed. Better than nothing to bandage the wound.
그리고 뭐 또 이것만 있으면 되나? 붕대로 사용할 수 있다. 아 여기서 또 다 구해야 되네. 이거는 소독 끓인 물.
I'll use it to create a solution.
아니 이런 건 경찰이 원래 해주는 거 아니야? 다친 사람 이렇게 방치해두는 게 있어? 또 뭐야? 이제 소독해볼까요, 이제? 어떻게 하죠? 자, 제가 소독을 어떻게 해드리죠? 이거 자르면은 죽지 않을까요? 토막 아닌가? 뭐야 어떻게 해줘? 자 소독하자.
Excuse me, just one question.
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
아직 뭘 더 찾아야 되나 아니면? 나는야 사람 도와주는 착한 셜록. 뭐 없는데? 이거 경찰 어디 갔어? 소독할 것! 소독약을 찾아라!
Is this familiar to you?
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
Could you help me?
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know
이
more.
무능한 경찰
You sure you know?
여기 있다. 무슨 꽃? 뭐야 이거? 뭐 약초인가 수련?
I'm afraid these leaves can only be added to tea.
이거는 안 되는데 이건 차로만 먹을 수 있고. 아 여긴가? 알로에.
I can use this to stop the infection from spreading.
감염을 막을 수 있다.
I've collated all the ingredients now
Wow.
to prepare the first aid solution.
아, 신나는 화학 시간. 하, 그렇군. 이건 다 화학 시간을 위한 그런 거였어. 자, 일단은 이거 해서 마이너스 이거 해서 이것도 마이너스 이거 해서 바꾸는 거. 그러면 여기서 이렇게 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 완벽! 쉽구만.
Thank you.
오,
This should make you feel
굿.
better, my friend. Now remain lying down and drink as
사람
much
하나
water as you can.
살렸어요.
Well done, Sherry. At least he won't die from the infection.
감염 때문에 죽진 않겠지만 뭐 혹시 몰라 과다 출혈로 인해서 죽을 수도 있습니다.